Hello my friends, it is March the 6th of 2024. I have another collection update video for you here. I have a bunch of black metal, some thrash metal, and a bit of other stuff, so let's get right into this. Up first is Nordicwinter with This Mournful Dawn. This album came out in 2023. This is a black metal band out of Quebec, Canada. They have more of a sort of like an atmospheric black metal style, but it's very dark and depressive sounding as well. Really love the cover so much. I really love that cover. The back is also really nice. Nice layout here as well. Fairly simple, but certainly very effective. Yeah, I really enjoy this band so much, and just love the songwriting. The production is just fantastic as well. Yeah, really enjoy this particular style of black metal, and this band is just phenomenal. I discovered them some time ago, and so I finally decided to purchase one of their albums, and this is their most recent album. And they have quite a few albums out already, and so I will be checking out some of their back catalog as well. This is a one-man band. I purchased this directly from the band. I purchased it from their Bandcamp page, and yeah, if you're not familiar with this band, definitely check them out, Nordicwinter. And yeah, Quebec has such a phenomenal black metal scene as well. So many great black metal bands out of Quebec, and yeah, and this is one of those excellent bands that is out of Quebec. Okay, so yeah, definitely check this one out. Okay, so that is Nordicwinter with This Mournful Dawn. Negura bunget with Zao. I believe that's how you pronounce it. This album came out in 2021. This is a interesting design right here. I had no idea that this would have been like that. I just assumed it was going to be like a regular digipack or a jewel case. I'm not entirely sure what you would even call this, but this thing is almost like the size of a vinyl record. It's quite large and quite elaborate. I'll try to open up some of the booklet here to give you an idea as to what it looks like. Lots of like nature photographs in here. Pictures of the band, lyrics. Yeah, a very nice and elaborate design. This is of course the band's final album. Their drummer passed away in 2017, and he did manage to record, I believe, most or all of the drum parts for this album, but it was completed after his passing. And yeah, pretty good album. I've actually listened to this one quite a lot. To me, it's sort of like an underrated type of album. I know some people aren't too fond of those final Negura bunget albums, because of course there was that split in the band several years ago, with certain members leaving the band and forming the band Dystopia, which is another phenomenal band. A band I will be discussing within the future. But yeah, this is a pretty solid Negura bunget album. Really like this band so much. Yeah, just very technical and rich sounding, very progressive sounding music right here, with so many different layers and elements. And yeah, I just really enjoy Negura bunget, and I kind of went away from them for several years, and because I had been a fan of their music for quite a number of years, and of course their drummer passed away, and then obviously we won't be having any more music from them. But this is a great final album, and definitely give this one a listen. Okay, so that is Negura bunget with Zao. Sentenced with Crimson. This album came out in 2000. I've really gotten heavily into this band over the last maybe about a year or so. I've been familiar with them for many years, but I, for whatever reason, never really got into them up until a little while ago. So I've been kind of slowly purchasing their albums, and I think they have about 8 or so albums, I believe, somewhere like that. They started off as being more of like a melodic death metal band, and then they sort of gravitated into being more of like a gothic metal band. Yeah, this is definitely a pretty good album. I really enjoy this one. I know some people aren't too fond of it, but I think there are some pretty good songs in here. Maybe some of the songs aren't too great, but I think it's a pretty solid album for the most part. I've been listening to this one a fair bit, and really enjoy quite a few of the songs. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid album. I really enjoy this band, and I'm still purchasing some of their other albums, sort of going back further into their discography. And yeah, unfortunately they aren't around anymore. They haven't been around for a long time. I believe they split up sometime in the mid-2000s, and the guitarist of the band, Mika Tinkula, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, he passed away in 2009 from, I think, heart failure. So obviously they would never reform because he was one of the main members of the band. But yeah, such a great band that left quite the legacy. All right, so that is Sentence with Crimson. Borknagar with the Archaic Chorus. This album came out in 1998. This is Borknagar's third full-length album. I haven't really listened to this one at all yet, but I've been going through their discography and catching up on some of the releases, because I am planning on doing a Borknagar albums rank video later this year, so definitely look out for that. So I need to sort of catch up on some of their other albums. They did just release a new album a few weeks ago actually, and I still need to purchase that album. I believe the album is called Fall. Yeah, so I need to purchase that one still, and I still need to get their first two albums as well. But yeah, this is a great album. I've heard a lot of great reviews on it. I know people really enjoy this album, and I still need to listen to it quite a bit still to get a good feel for it, but I'm sure I will enjoy it, because Borknagar are just a phenomenal band, a band I've been a huge fan of since like my early 20s. Definitely one of the first sort of like black metal bands that I really got into, and yeah, I really enjoy their style. Okay, so that is Borknagar with the Archaic Chorus. Dimmu Borgir with Godless Savage Garden. This album came out in 1998. This is an EP. I've been wanting this one for a while, and I finally managed to find one for a decent price, so I definitely had to get it. Yeah, Dimmu Borgir, great band. One of the bands that introduced me to the whole black metal style. I really got into them when I was like in my early 20s. Great band. So I've been purchasing all their albums, and I do finally have all their full-length albums. And well, this is an EP, but I do have all their full-length albums along with this EP. I do believe they have maybe one or two other EPs, but this is like the main EP, the most important one, I suppose. That's sort of essential to their collection. Yeah, definitely happy to have this one in my collection. Listened to it a fair bit already, still need to listen to it more, but from what I've heard so far, it's pretty damn good. Okay, so that is Dimmu Borgir with the Godless Savage Garden. Dimmu Borgir with Eonian. This album came out in 2018. This is Dimmu Borgir's most recent full-length album. It's been years since they've released an album. I don't really know what's going on within that band, because they did release an album not so long ago, like maybe a few months ago, an album of covers, and to me it's kind of insignificant, because it's not all new covers either. It's just covers they've done throughout the years. So to me it seems like a kind of a not a significant release whatsoever. So I don't really know what's going on with this band. I don't know if they're really all that active anymore. I believe they've lost one or two members over the past little while, so hopefully they will come out with another full-length album at some point, but up until now this is still their most recent full-length album. I have been starting to listen to this album as of lately, still need to listen to it a lot more. I'm really familiar with the band's like sort of mid-era period. Albums like Death Cult Armageddon and those albums in Sorta Diaboli, those ones I'm really familiar with, so I'm still sort of trying to catch up on some of their other albums like this one and some other earlier releases as well. But yeah, great band. I really enjoy them so much, and I am planning on doing an albums rank video for this band as well later this year. I'm very much determined to do that, so I really need to go through their albums and really familiarize myself more with their discography, but I am planning on doing that video, Dimmu Borgir albums ranked, so definitely look out for that. Okay, so that is Dimmu Borgir with the Eonian. Okay, I got some thrash metal albums now. Okay, so first up is Megadeth with So Far So Good So What. This album came out in 1988, classic thrash metal album right here. I believe this is Megadeth's third. Yeah, this is their third full-length album. Yeah, I've been listening to this one a little bit. Definitely not one of my more favorite albums from them, to be honest. I mean, there are other albums from Megadeth that I would much rather listen to than this one, but I still need to listen to it more though. But yeah, definitely a very classic album, an album that most metalheads, I'm pretty sure, are familiar with. Okay, so that is Megadeth with So Far So Good So What. Another Megadeth album. Okay, I got Megadeth with the Countdown to Extinction. This album came out in 1992. Very legendary album. This is kind of where they are changing their style a little bit. Okay, you have so many classic songs on here like Symphony of Destruction and Skin on My Teeth and Sweating Bullets. So yeah, pretty pretty solid album right here, an album that's definitely beloved by a lot of Megadeth fans. Very classic metal album for sure. Okay, and I am planning as well to do a Megadeth albums ranked video, so that's why I've been purchasing their discography. I still need to get a couple more of their other albums, but once I do acquire all their albums, I will really go through them and then determine my rankings. And I do plan on doing that albums rank video sometime later this year, along with some other albums rank videos, so look out for all that. There will be some very interesting videos coming later this year. Okay, so yeah, Megadeth with Countdown to Extinction. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this album. All right. And one more Megadeth album, Dystopia. This album came out in 2016, so this is their second most recent album. I don't have their most recent album. I will be getting that at some point for sure. And I haven't listened to this one at all, to be honest. An album that I definitely will be checking out. I know it is definitely an album that's been enjoyed by a lot of Megadeth Megadeth fans. So yeah, definitely looking forward to checking this one out. And Megadeth, of course, such a legendary band, a band that all metalheads and even other people are familiar with. So yeah, great band that have had a very unique and lengthy history. So definitely looking forward to doing the albums rank video for them. So yeah, look out for that. Okay, so that is Megadeth with Dystopia. And the last album on my list here is Slipknot with We Are Not Your Kind. This album came out in 2019. So I've been trying to acquire all of Slipknot's albums. So I'm still missing their most recent album. I need to get that one still. Then I will have their entire discography. Another band that I am planning on doing an albums ranked video for. Okay, so I will be doing an albums ranked video for this band right here. And so I have been going through their albums and listening to them. I haven't listened to this one much at all yet, to be honest. I mean, I have been listening to it somewhat, but there's so many albums I need to get caught up with. And of course, I'm always adding so many albums to the collection, so it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes to really be on top of all this. And but of course, I'm always blasting tunes throughout the day, and when I'm at work, blasting tunes. So I am definitely absorbing a lot of music throughout the day. So definitely looking forward to listening to this one more. Slipknot, such a legendary band, and a band that has been around since like the late 1990s. They have not a lot of albums out, but they got some pretty good albums. Some maybe not so good, but definitely a very legendary band. Okay, so yeah, definitely looking forward to doing that ranking video for them, and definitely check that out. Okay, so that is Slipknot with We Are Not Your Kind. Alright, so those are some more metal albums I've added to my collection. I'm always expanding on the collection. I'm always listening to more and more metal music. I just love metal so goddamn much. I must have it in my life in order to maintain my sanity. Yeah, I just truly love the metal. Alright, so let me know what you think. Please leave some comments. I'm always curious to know what you guys think. If you have some suggestions for some videos you'd like me to do, please leave those suggestions. I'm always open to new ideas. And yeah, please give me a like. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, please subscribe. And so yeah, I want to say thank you very much for watching. And I want to say thanks to all the people who watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. I really, truly appreciate it. Take care, my friends. Cheers.